Hey everybody, I'm Chuck Esposito here at Red Rocks Racing Sportsbook. I'm Racing Sportsbook Director here. We're here for another segment of Bookends. Usually it's myself, it's our VP of Racing Sports, Jason McCormick, and our mascot Teaser, who we're always looking for to be barking a little loud. Unfortunately, Teaser's out for a walk. Jay's not here today, so our buddy John Schumacher, our producer of Bookends, he's going to be filling in today. As I mentioned, we're in the Red Rock Racing Sportsbook. This place is going to be jumping over the weekend, John. It's wild card weekend. It's going to be exciting. It's fun. I think the best part about it is extra games, but 3 primetime games. We've got a Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night primetime games. Anytime there's isolated big games like that, I always say one thing. Yay, sportsbooks. So it should be fun this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a big weekend, Chuck. And the perfect way to start, we have the Raiders, which after that last week 17 of almost tie into overtime, big weekend, what better way to kick off with the Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. Saturday afternoon game, the first game on the slate for Wild Card weekend. Cincinnati's about a field goal favorite or so, hovering around there. Chuck, what's your take on this game?
It's actually a little bit bigger than a field goal favorite. It's almost getting to that touchdown without the extra point. I think when you look at the Raiders, if you're the Raiders, you played arguably the most exciting game of the year, the last regular season game. Raiders-Chargers goes into overtime, all the excitement of that game. You're probably thrilled. We play the first game. We want to get back out there. John, the Raiders have been playing playoff football now for a month. They were 6-7. They had been beaten handily by the Chiefs after they kind of paraded on the mascot at midfield. No one thought they were going to be in this position. They've won 4 straight games. They look good. Waller had a big game against Cincy in Vegas earlier in the season. It looks like he's going to be healthy and back in this game. It's a really good matchup. This Bengal team is on fire, though. They come in playing really well, but there's only 2 teams that are on 4-game winning streaks heading into the postseason. One's the Buffalo Bills. The other one, our Las Vegas Raiders. I think kind of interesting stat here. When these 2 teams played before, it was 13-6. Cincinnati going into the fourth quarter before they got up to 32 points and kind of ran away from the Raiders. But it was close for 3 quarters in that game. Weather might be a factor in this one as well.
Perfect segue because we go from our Raiders who are on the winning streak, and you mentioned our Buffalo Bills. So next game, we have the Pats at the Bills. It's going to be a Saturday night game. Bills are over a field goal favorite. You can maybe speak to that a little bit. What are your take on the Patriots versus the Bills?
It's a really interesting game. These 2 teams, they played during the year twice, with each team winning on the opposition's home field. It's funny, but New England won on a primetime game in Buffalo with conditions similar to what we're going to see this weekend. It's going to be single digits, blustery, cold, windy, snowy. In that game, Mac Jones threw 3 times. 3 times. He was 2 for 3. The key component in that game was Patriots ran 46 times in that game, rushed for over 230 yards. That was the big difference. I'm not putting a prop up over under 2.5 attempts for Mac Jones, but I think both these teams are so different. Buffalo with that wide open offense with Josh Allen can score from anywhere on the field. And when they went to New England late in the season, they scored over 30 points in that game, and Josh Allen had 3 touchdown passes. So kind of contradictory style for these 2 teams. This Buffalo team, though, I still think is a team that could be playing in February, but over a field goal favorite. We're starting to see the bettors back the Bills just a little bit.
Very nice, beautiful. And now, of course, I wouldn't be doing my job. We'll have to take a break, pump the brakes a little bit. We'll get to Eagles-Bucks in a second. But I'll do my job, and we'll get a little plug-in for the STN Sports App, of course. I've already looked at the app. We've got some props coming. I'm sure we've got more props coming if you want to speak to some of the offerings and the new sign-up offer we have going on with the app.
We absolutely do. I mean, the props are a big part of what we love to offer. There's a lot of props up right now on the Raiders-Bengals game. We've just added some new player props, kind of a new thing, where we list some quarterbacks, then we list some grouping of wide receivers and running backs. They've only been up for a few hours, getting a lot of attention to. They're fun. With all this going on and 3 primetime games, we know everybody's still kind of busy this time of year. It's a great time to get signed up for STN Sports. Still have up to that $100 bonus going on for new sign-up guests. We still have that cool STN mobile cap. And don't forget, we just opened our new sportsbook up at our Wildfire Lake Mead property. So get over there. A lot of cool promotions and fun stuff going on there as well. But props are king when it comes to the postseason.
A lot of fun. Beyond just the over-unders and the straight bets, it's a lot of fun. Eagles and Bucks. Obviously, this game that kicks off Sunday, 10 a.m. Bucks favored by over a touchdown. Tom Brady, will it ever end, for better or for worse?
Right.
Bucs fans, you're lucky to have Tom Brady on your team when it comes to the postseason. So, Chuck, what are you looking at for this game?
I think if you're the Bucs, they wish that they were that team that was off. I mean, Brady's been great. We know he's the GOAT. But still, at his age, you'd love to have that time off. We know that Evans has been banged up. Fournette's been banged up. Godwin. They've had a lot of injuries there. They'd like to have the time off. It's funny, but a lot of these games are kind of rematches. Not only rematches, but rematches of primetime games. Eagles and Bucs played during the season. It was a game that the Bucs were up 28-7. Just dominated. We were huge Eagle fans that day. We thought there's no way they're going to cover. The Eagles, in the last 6 minutes of the game, rattle off 15 points with a 2-point conversion and cover that game 28-22. Hurts is going to have to really step up in this game. Funny, but this game could be a weather as well. A lot of rain and wind possibly in this game. And if that happens, I think it favors Philadelphia a little bit just because of their style of play. They win ugly. They run the ball a lot. They don't throw a lot. They control tempo. They control clock. They're one of those teams that most people didn't think would be here. They're a surprise team in the postseason. Hey, but it's Tampa. It's the GOAT. They're almost double-digit favorites in this game against the Eagles.
Sounds about right. So next up, we have the 49ers at the Cowboys. Sunday afternoon game. Cowboys right now are around a field goal favorite or so. Right now, it's the highest projected total of the weekend. Kind of interesting. I was thinking, I heard, 49ers and Cowboys, when you think of these guys, they met so often in the 90s, and, the legend John Madden, passing away this year. But, how great is it for the 49ers and Cowboys again to have this matchup in the postseason with all those memories?
It's great, John. I mean, there's so much history between these two teams. I can still see Montana making that pass that we all thought he was throwing away, and Dwight Clark leaping up in the back of the end zone and making that catch. I can still see that happening. It's two teams that I think are really good. I think this Cowboy team, for me, is a team that could be playing in February, not because of their offense, but because with Micah Parsons and Diggs and Lawrence, they can flat out play some defense. Offensively, with Prescott and those trio wide receivers and a healthy Elliott and Pollard, they're really, really good. But this Niner team is a team nobody wants to face in the postseason. Samuel's been great. Garoppolo's playing really good. You've got a healthy Kittle right now. And they're road warriors. They were 6-3 on the road this year. They were much better on the road than they were at home. It looked like when they were down 17-0 to the Rams in Week 18, we were going to include them with the Colts and the Ravens and the Browns. It's one of the best teams in the league that didn't make the postseason. But hey, they're in. Nobody wants to face them. Kind of an interesting tidbit on ticket count here. We've been doing ticket counts all year long. There has never been one that was a 50-50, almost identical 50-50 split the entire year. There's two this week, and this is one of them, 50-50 ticket count split right now on Niners and Cowboys. Cowboys about a 3-point favorite.
Wow, we love that. We'll make it a little bit more unpredictable this wild card weekend. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get to Steelers-Chiefs. We'll get some Cards and Rams, the primetime game, so other than Saturday night. So we'll be right back on Bookends.
Damn, I look good. What's up, everybody? It's me, Stephen Money. It's football season, and I want you to know that you can bet on me, the STN Sports App. So sign up today and get started with me.
Hey everybody, we're back for our second segment of Bookends. Again, we're at the beautiful Red Rock Racing Sportsbook here. It's right before Wild Card Weekend. It's fun. We touched on the first 4 games. We're going to touch on the Sunday game and the Sunday night game and the Monday night game right now. Both kind of intriguing matchups, John.
Yep, we got Sunday night. As you know, Steelers at the Chiefs. Chiefs are a huge favorite. Big game. Steelers, some might say, kind of snuck into the playoffs. Weird, crazy, but very exciting situation last Sunday, as we talked about with the Raiders. Steelers are in. They face the Chiefs.
I didn't wear a tie today, but the Steelers were hoping that it wasn't going to be a tie in that Chargers-Raider game because they wouldn't be in today. And guess what? Big Ben is still playing. I mean, I think if you're Roethlisberger now, you had that dramatic win against the Browns on primetime TV. You're able to win the last game against the Ravens in dramatic fashion. You get to keep playing football right now. They were down against the Chiefs on a primetime game as well, 30-0 before they ultimately lost that game. I think it was 33-10. So they haven't played well against this team. 56% of the tickets are on the Chiefs, but bettors feel there's some value on the Steelers here getting all these points in the game. Weather could be a factor here as well. We know the Chiefs are awfully good. I'm sure they had hoped they were going to be that team that had the bye in the AFC, which they don't have. But biggest favorite on the board this weekend is the Kansas City Chiefs.
And then you were telling me at the break that there might be something a little bit different with the ticket counts that you were alluding to earlier. We have Cardinals at Rams, the last game we're going to cover. Monday night brings it home for the weekend. Rams are over a field goal favorite.
This is, to me, kind of the most intriguing matchup of the weekend. I love the way it finishes off with Cardinals-Rams. These two teams each won at the opposition's home field, similar to how the Patriots and Bills did. But it was funny, doing all the calculations. You look at it, 50-50 split. So the bettors are kind of torn on this one. There has been some early play on the Cardinals. I think the big key here is both quarterbacks. Kyler Murray has been different without DeAndre Hopkins. That offense just hasn't been quite as dynamic. It looks like you're going to have James Conner back. J.J. Watt might play, which will help the defense. They had a huge road win just a few weeks ago when they went into Dallas and won. On the flip side, we know the Rams are good. Their defense is built to win the Super Bowl. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller. Their defense hasn't been the problem. It's been Matt Stafford, who's been a turnover machine of late. These two quarterbacks, I think, are going to be the difference here. Great game. We'll see who moves on in the NFC.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the best games of the weekend, in my opinion. Well, we got through all the games, Chuck, and it wouldn't be a bookends without a segment that everybody knows and loves, especially you and I. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with our favorite segment, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Locals, here's how easy it is to start betting on games with the STN Sports App. They have sign-up locations across Las Vegas, so no matter where you are, you're less than 5 minutes away from getting started. They have convenient withdrawal and deposit options, so you can access your money at any time, even from the comfort of home. And once you're in, you're in. You can bet on all major sports even as the action is happening with a huge in-play wagering menu. So download the STN Sports app today. Get started betting with the local favorite for over 40 years.
Hey everybody, we're back with our final segment of Bookends. And before we get started, Chuck, I know you wanted to say a couple quick words.
I did. Unfortunately, this past weekend, we lost a dear member of the kind of the racing sports community, the media community, a close friend of STN Sports and Station Casinos with the untimely passing of Brian Blessing. Brian was a huge ambassador, a cheerleader, a fan, a friend of the entire industry. Did a lot of stuff with me personally at Sunset Station when I was over there. We hosted seminars, viewing parties. I was a frequent guest on his radio show. He'll sorely be missed. We know he was a huge Buffalo Bill fan, so I know someone's going to be trying to pull some strings up there. But B, rest in peace, buddy. You are an important guy. You will be missed in the industry.
Yeah, you'll be missed. We're thinking of you. Chuck, now hard to transition, but we can have a bit more fun in this segment. It's our favorite, and it is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Usually you're playing the music in the background, but you're right here today.
We're throwing the Clint Eastwood music in post-production, but let's start off with the good.
I think the good, and I know I said it earlier, it's Yay Sportsbooks. It's the expanded playoffs. It's having 3 primetime games. I think anytime, John, you've got those 3 isolated primetime games on Saturday night, Sunday night, and the first time ever, Monday Night Football playoff game, I think it's great. I think from a prop perspective, handle perspective, in play, just the interest that those 3 primetime games will generate, I think it's a win-win for us and the guests. That's why it's great to get STN Sports on your mobile device because you can play these primetime games throughout.
Yes. And then you also wanted to mention somebody skating on the ice for the Golden Knights.
That's right. Another good piece. Jack Eichel on the ice for the Vegas Golden Knights right now. See, hopefully we get him back sometime. They're saying probably in March. But when you get that whole lineup, when Pacioretty's back healthy and you get Jack Eichel on the ice, what a difference it's going to be. It's going to be a fun second half of the season for VGK.
Yeah, of course. And now we've got to transition to the bad.
The bad, I know that Monday is Black Monday across pro football, and we expected Matt Nagy, and we expected Joe Judge and Mike Zimmer, and some of these coaching changes. The one that I was stunned is the job that Brian Flores did in Miami, that he was let go. I think any one of these teams that's looking for a coach, I love the no-nonsense type attitude. The fact that he had to overcome, kind of a lot of different coordinators there, some of the injury problems with Tua. He was a game below 500, had the long winning streak this year, easily could have made the playoffs in his first year when they won 10 games. To me, that's the bad that Brian Flores still isn't the coach of the Miami Dolphins.
Okay, and now I've always wanted to do this. We're at the ugly. And this one's mine, and Chuck,
I can hear that music loud.
As a fellow Chicago sports fan, I know you might be able to chime in on this one too, but I just had to throw in an ugly for George McCaskey. As a lifelong Chicago Bears fan, it was a tough season, and Ryan Pace, Matt Nagy, GM and head coach of the Bears, they were fired. We'll give our kudos to George McCaskey and the Bears leadership after that happened earlier in the week. So Bears fans had about 3 or 4 hours of happiness until George McCaskey, son of Virginia McCaskey, the owner of the Chicago Bears, took the podium for a press conference. And then all heck, you know what, broke loose. He did not look good in a lot of these sound bites. If you Google what he said, we're just embarrassing to be a leader and essentially an owner of the Chicago Bears. He can't make football decisions. He says he's just a fan.
Just a fan.
He's absolving some responsibility, but now he's taking on more responsibility. He threw Olin Kreutz under the bus, who is a beloved Chicago Bears center, Hall of Famer in my book, great player. Just blunder after blunder. It doesn't make you feel very confident to be a Chicago Bears fan after seeing that.
I had to remove teaser because I knew he'd be upset with this segment. I think being Bears fans, you have a certain expectation. I know they're talking about now, the new stadium in Arlington Heights, the tradition there. I mean, you think about a team that was so confident and cocky that they cut the Super Bowl shuffle, in December that year. But it is tough right now. I think it was long overdue that they made those changes. It's hard, I think, for any ownership group in any sport of any team to say, we're just a fan. There has to be some accountability there as well. We'll see. I'm hoping that they make the right choice at coach and the right choice at GM. They've got a young quarterback in Justin Fields to build around, very talented young running back in David Montgomery. They've got Mooney, a very talented wideout, some young guys on defense as well. But they happen to play in the same division with a guy that owns them. I don't want to say his name because I'm a Bears fan, but we'll see what the future holds for the Chicago Bears. It was great, John, doing this segment with you. It's always a lot of fun. I sorely miss having Jay here, my partner in crime, and our buddy Teaser. Did an awesome job. And everybody, it's Wild Card Weekend. Come in and enjoy everything we have to offer. Get signed up to the mobile app. Get signed up for STN Sports. It's going to be fun. We'll see you guys next week on another episode of Bookends.